Topped Belgian waffle with homemade whipped cream, chocolate chips, and freshly sliced bananas. Baconator, buttermilk waffle with bacon slices tucked inside, topped with salted whipped butter, caramelized pecans, and pure maple syrup.
Waffle weekend brunches at the Chocolate Season.
PB&J.
40th and Old Cheney or online at thechocolateseason.com.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
This is Jeff Essing, owner of Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping and host of Fitness Fanatics. Over the years, we've helped countless people gain strength, lose fat, build confidence, and change their life. And it all starts with the Farrell's 10-Week Challenge. Now is the best time to sign up with the new year right around the corner. You can enroll for the January 10-Week Challenge for only $299. That's 10 weeks of kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching. Head to fxblincoln.com for more information on how to enroll. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
If your car has sent you to the sidelines, Eustace Body Shop can help. With gold-class certified technicians, OEM parts, and free loaner cars, Eustace Body Shop is your best choice this Husker season. And with 6 locations across central and eastern Nebraska, we've got you covered, whether you're rooting at home or you're headed to Memorial Stadium. Get a free online quote at EustaceBodyShop.com, and let's get you back in the game.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
John Henry's would like to remind you, if you haven't already, to unhook your outdoor hoses and check faucets for leaks so your pipes don't freeze. As the official plumber of the Huskers, you know who to call when a plumbing issue arises. From frozen pipes to clogged drains, we can help you protect your home this winter. Give
John Henry's
a call today to schedule at
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
When it comes to tackling your fall projects, having the right equipment can make a huge difference. At Sunbelt Rentals, they have an extensive line of tools and equipment to help complete any job. From lawn and landscape equipment to hand tools, pressure washers, portable generators for you tailgaters, and much more. Sunbelt Rentals makes it easy to get what you need when you need it. Drop in to see the experts at 5450 Alvo Road in Lincoln, or visit sunbeltrentals.com today to learn how Sunbelt Rentals can make it happen for you.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
The Lincoln forecast for today, a chance of snow showers taking place throughout the day. We'll see an afternoon high around 32. Tonight, a slight chance of snow will continue. Otherwise, we'll see mainly cloudy skies and a low around 20. And tomorrow, a slight chance of snow continuing throughout the day. Otherwise, partly sunny skies expected with a high of 32. I'm meteorologist Kyle Clicker from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Erick Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
On a beautiful, beautiful snowy Tuesday in the 402. At least that's where I'm at. Austin Norman in the 93.7 The Ticket studio. Stricky on the road, but here on the stream. Strick, how are you, my man? How was your Christmas?
Christmas was wonderful. It was a good time to spend with some family and friends. It was peaceful. It was quiet. It was food. It was festivities and games and all of that stuff going on, but it was very relaxing. I heard you guys got poured on a little bit with some snow, and so I love you. I love everything Nebraska, but I'm kind of glad I was able to evade that part of it.
And I take it you had a bright Christmas, not a white Christmas.
Yeah, not a white one, a bright one. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's not blazing hot down here. It's kind of cold, but it's cool. But yeah, the getaway's been great. A lot of games are happening. Some interesting games right now. I mean, it's crazy because you're watching Minnesota play right now, and they're 5-7, and you know, gosh darn it, you know, why not Nebraska? Freaking just still irks me the fact that they couldn't get that one game over the hump, and here's a Minnesota's freaking in a bowl game at 5-7.
It goes to two things. Number one, it goes to academics, right? Minnesota had a better academic progress rate, the APR score. That's why they slide in there at 5-7. But some other circumstances as well, Strick. I mean, we talk about Nebraska going 0-4 in November. Guess what? So did Minnesota. Minnesota was at 5-3, just like Nebraska was. Gophers lost 4 in a row, and they weren't particularly close, right? At least Nebraska was, you know, still a possession away in November. Every time,
Yep.
1-score games. Again, Minnesota got blown out. They lost by 2 touchdowns to an mediocre Wisconsin team to end the year. And yet here they still are in the bowl game, the recipient of those 15 extra practices, currently leading Bowling Green 9-7. Later in the week, Stricky, as we get closer to the new year, we got the college football playoff to talk about, the New Year's Six Bowl to talk about. So we'll definitely preview those as we get later in the week. But a busy show to catch you guys up on anything you might have missed over Christmas today. We'll talk some NFL here in our next segment. Plenty of college football in hour number 2. A couple quarterbacks on the move. Florida State's quarterback Tate Rodemaker said the quiet part out loud with his transfer. We'll dive into that and maybe a little bit of Florida State, Georgia. And then little Tua Talia Tagovailoa, rumored to be entering the transfer portal. Can't do it for much more than about a week here before this window ends up closing. We'll see if he does that or not. We'll also talk some NBA and more. Of course, on the block, brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul, down at 29th and Pine Lake here in Lincoln. Not open today. They will be back open tomorrow, though. It will warm you up, so if you're still cold, still not feeling the snow, make sure you find your way to Mary Ellen's. It'll pick your mood up. It definitely will. Strick, let's go to the text line here to start off this show. First, we have from Disc Golf Jake. Could you guys throw a birthday shout out to my oldest son, Oliver, who turned 6 today? He's feeling a bit sad about the Broncos loss, but still rocking his new Russell Wilson jersey. Disc Golf Jake also says he's an amazing big brother to his triplet brothers and his little sister. Oliver, happy birthday, young man. So close to Christmas. I don't know how I feel about that, Stricky. A birthday this close to Christmas? Do you double up on gifts? Do you get him 2 straight days? How's that work?
Well, that's the crazy thing, because I have a nephew that's actually on the 24th, and so he gets slighted, I'm sure, a little bit. I wouldn't want it. I think I like mine. Mine falls on Thanksgiving sometimes, so I get the benefit of great meal and great company. It's still a month out as far as the gift giving time of it, but I'm not very big on it anyway. I don't get many gifts and stuff like that. I love to, you know, my kids are fickle, so getting kids stuff when they get to a certain age, you know, you try to get them what they need, but they're fickle. So I try to just give them money because they're old and they're older, and they just, you know, they're just like the money. So I try to do that with them. And if there's something specific, like I got my daughter something, you know, one of my daughters something specific because I knew she would like it. But the rest of them, you know, 2 in college. Yeah, you know how that is. You listeners out there that understand, that have older kids, you understand what it's like in college and stuff like that.
Get him that paper, that cashola. Never goes wrong.
You can never go wrong with that. There's all many uses you can use for that. That's for sure.
So your Thanksgiving baby occasionally. My dad is as well, in late November sort of birthday. Shout out my father-in-law as well. His birthday is today. So happy birthday to him. Let's get into some sports here real quick here, Strick. We had a segment on Nebraska basketball, Nick and I did, about just how big this month of January coming up will be. Obviously, on the 29th, on Friday, you have South Carolina State coming into town. But we got into what January holds, all the opportunities for the Huskers. 0598 chimes in and says, Minnesota's 9-3, so maybe that loss won't look so bad at the end of the year. But I'm nervous because team rankings has us going 8-10 in the Big Ten, which would be a 7-9 finish that, or yeah, an 8-10 finish there, which would get you to 9-11 in conference play. That would give the Huskers a 19-12 overall record. 20 seems to be the magic number in a lot of Husker fans' heads for better postseason opportunities. Obviously, finishing 500 or better in the conference. I mean, you finished 500 last year in that mix of teams, just a game or two below 500. Getting to 500 in conference play would be a great step in the right direction for this team. Finishing even a game or two above that would be nice. But Strick, I don't think 20 is necessarily a magic number if you win the right games. If you beat a Purdue, if you beat a Wisconsin, even Ohio State, who you play, Northwestern, I think has a chance to be a quality win. 20's nice. It's a nice round number. Any win above that, I think, only improves your chances. But I think if Nebraska does end up 9-11 in conference play, 19-12 overall, going into the Big Ten tournament, they will still have chances to hit 20 in the Big Ten tournament and pick up another quality win or two that will help at the end of the year.
Yeah, that is true. I think when we get stuck on, like you say, you said something very important. I think it's the quality of a win, right? But then you don't want to have the bad losses. Like it's okay to, play a team that's down in the Big Ten and you play that team and you lose to them on the road. That's understandable. I mean, a lot of people can say that that's something that just happens as a part of the life of playing big time college or professional basketball. It's something that's tough to win on the road. But at the same time, if you take care of home, when you just look at the schedule, if you just take care of your home games, and then just go on the road, like I just keep saying, and I'm going to keep saying it, go on the road and just see what happens. You get on the road, you get hot. If your defense is consistent, you've got a chance. I think a couple of the January games that they have a chance at, it's going to be tough going up to Wisconsin. They're playing good ball right now. I think the matchup looks fine as long as you get bring fully healthy Rick Mass back. I think you look fine there. But that stretch is tough because Indiana is going to get after you. They're going to test your mettle as far as your defense, as far as your offensive execution. They're going to get after you really, really tough on the defensive side of things. They're not great as far as their shooting or anything of the sort, but they're going to get after you. Mike Woodson's going to have his team prepared to come and try to get a win on the road. The others, when you look at it, yes, Purdue's difficult. You got Wisconsin. Iowa is not the same, I don't think, as they have been in the past. I think they're down. I think that's one you go and try to get early. Go and try to bank a road win early against them. When you back that up 5 days later against the Rutgers and Piscataway, they're always tough. Like, even though they're probably down from what they were last year, I think they are a little bit, but still they're tough. They're just hard-nosed. That's the culture that they've bred in themselves. So I think those early January road games are good tests for you coming in. Us and Coach Nee and the group are going to be there for Northwestern in the alumni game. That's one that you just hope they get inspired and just go and win. Don't do what they did to Dougie McBuckets. And you take a tough loss when you have that type of big event going on. You just hope that doesn't happen. But you're right, though. The schedule is not easy, but those games are at home to start. 2 road games that I think are gettable. Couple of home games you should be able to take care of at home. Maryland's looking better, and then you just go from there because it doesn't get any easier when you look down the schedule.
It really doesn't. We just saw Nebraska get out of that 4-game stretch that we said would tell us a lot about where this team is at and where it can go. Right now, according to most bracketologists, they're sitting in the first 4 out category for the NCAA tournament, which is fine. And I think Husker fans should kind of get used to that. I don't think this is a team, Strick, that has shown the ability yet to pull away and put some distance behind itself, banking those, big wins. So I think it's also a team that also, will avoid bad losses for the most part. Maybe Minnesota looks better, maybe it doesn't, but they found a way to scratch and claw against North Dakota. Not a pretty win, but you avoid the bad loss on the resume. That would have been a quad 3, probably even a quad 4 loss by the end of the year, which is really hard to come back from. So I think this is a Nebraska team that is going to, live on that bubble. That's going to walk that razor's edge, which is where getting Wisconsin twice is big. Split with the Badgers. Getting Indiana twice is big. Split with them. You get Northwestern once, and that's at home. You have to find a way to win that game. That's a team that's very comparable to you in a lot of ratings. Illinois, you only get once. If you can find a way to pull off a surprise there, that's huge. But that Michigan State win is getting better. That's going to carry some weight. Ohio State, you get at home and on the road. So you have to split with them. Ohio State's a very talented team. If you can split with them, I think that goes a long way. And then Rutgers, again, another team that you go out there first and then you play them at home at the end of the year.
You got to try to double them up.
Right. I think that's a team that you can get. You went out and beat a better Rutgers team last year on the road than they have this year. So everything Nebraska wants is on the table for it. But again, pick the right games. Like you always say, Strick, take care of home. Nebraska has a lot of great opportunities at home. Steal the right road game or 2 or 3, and everything Nebraska wants is there for the taking.
That's it, man. I mean, that's the recipe for having a great season, I truly think. And they just got to avoid letdowns. They've got to truly avoid any letdowns. There's no game that's a gimme. Especially take advantage of these breaks that you're getting, but don't come back off of a break and just, lay an egg. Don't do that. That's, it's not Easter yet. We got a little bit of time before that comes around. Don't lay eggs until, maybe in March if you're going to do it. But I love the prospects of the potential and the possibilities that lay ahead of them. And so we just got to be mindful of that. And they've got to be very mindful of that, of what they need to do and what they need to accomplish. Definitely has got to take a game by game mentality and approach to it. But at the same time, you want to go into these games looking at it from a standpoint of what can we do to improve our opportunities to land at the big dance, to get it to the big dance. We want to get it. We don't want to, remember Cinderella had to get dressed up to get to it. We just want to be able to show up and our invitations are already clipped. We don't want to have to take any Cinderella moves where we're really in a pumpkin and we've got all kinds of animals driving, but at the end of the day, it's not real, right? We just want some real and tangible opportunities to take advantage of, and I think it's ahead of them.
We had about a minute and a half left here, Strick. Before Nebraska thinks about the NCAA tournament, it's got to think about South Carolina State coming to town on Friday. Just big picture here. You mentioned don't lay an egg after a break. Nebraska struggled with North Dakota, but that was game 1 after, Rink Mast had that little cleanup procedure on his knee. Do you think Nebraska's struggles against North Dakota were overlooking an opponent, or do you think that was just they struggled to play without one of their heartbeats of their team, and that with some more time to prep, they'll come out better ready to play against South Carolina State?
I mean, I would say that the heartbeat of the team in Rink Mast was a piece of it, but that the lack of effort and energy and stuff, that's stuff that's controllable inside that locker room, even without Rink Mast being there. Rink Mast is definitely an integral part of what they do and the success that they have, just because of just his abilities to do multiple things on the court. But that effort and that lack of it is something that they have to be able to control and they have to bring regardless, because you just don't want to have a team like that stay in the games. And that's what this is going to have for them against South Carolina State.
That's on Friday. We'll take a break, talk more Husker sports and plenty more here as we continue during On the Block. He's Erick Strickland. I'm Austin Norman. More of the show in just a minute.
The following is a test of the emergency alert system.
If your home heating system is making strange noises or just doesn't work like it should, call your friends at Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating. Sign up for Bryant's exclusive ESP service protection plan. You'll get twice annual complete and thorough service on all brands, and you'll never pay overtime charges on evenings, weekends, or holidays. Schedule your heating check today and ask about Bryant's ESP plan to save money. Call 467-1111 or go to BryantLincoln.com. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is your go-to place in Lincoln for repairs and maintenance for diesel pickups to Class 8 over-the-road trucks and trailers, from bumper pole utility to full-size semi. Gray performs DOT inspections and are a service provider for fleet companies like ARI, Element Fleet, and FleetNet. They're a family-owned business in operation since 1952, and they keep a clean, friendly shop. Customer service is their top priority. Give Gray Diesel and Equipment Services a visit today, with easy access just off I-80 and North 56th Street.
Old School with DP and J.
We got a special guest in. We got Jason Peters.
All that's being asked of you is everything. Like, you have to give everything that you have to that program, to that team. If you want to be a champion, that's the only way, right? I mean, you have to commit to every lifting session, every strength and conditioning session, during the summer, during the spring, whatever it may be. It just has to be 100% commitment by everybody.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
The Southern Pecan Cake from Beatrice Bakery. They don't just let you call anything Southern, especially when it's baked right here in Nebraska. There are standards you have to meet, like a rich, decadent, moist caramel cake? Check. Bursting with too many large pecans to count? Check. Big enough to share with the whole group? Check. But delicious enough that you won't want to share? A big check on that one. The Southern Pecan Cake, the newest cake to the Beatrice Bakery lineup. Try it for yourself at Beatrice Bakery. Online at BeatriceBakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
New year, new career. The new year is just around the corner. Why not start it off strong with a new career? General Excavating is looking for qualified underground utility project managers. Check out our website, generalexcavating.com, or call 402-467-1627 for more information. Happy holidays from General Excavating.
A child's learning doesn't just happen in a classroom. It happens wherever they are, all day, every day. What you teach your child at home is every bit as important as what they learn in school. Talk to your child about your family, your history, the foods you eat, the holidays you celebrate, and the values that are important to you. Tolerance, honesty, respect. Remember, you are your child's first and most important teacher.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Your Christmas list changes a lot as you get older. Dreams of video games, remote control cars, and baseball gloves turn into dreams of shoes. Practical things. Brown Shoe Fit is the king of shoes in Lincoln, with brands like Sorel, UGG, Brooks, Hoka, and more to make you fashionable and comfortable. Grab a new Ridge wallet or buy 3, get 1 free on smart wool socks for the ultimate stocking stuffer. And don't forget a reliable gift card for that hard-to-buy person in your life. Brown Shoe Fit at 66th and Q in Lincoln.
I could write a commercial telling you how great waffle weekends are at the chocolate season. Or I could just have Rico read you the menu.
Banana Nutella. Nutella topped Belgian waffle with homemade whipped cream, chocolate chips, and freshly sliced bananas. Baconator. Buttermilk waffle with bacon slices tucked inside, topped with salted whipped butter, caramelized pecans, and pure maple syrup.
Waffle weekend brunches at the Chocolate Season.
PB&J.
40th and Old Cheney or online at thechocolateseason.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Carper for O Street Carpet. For Christmas, we're doing everything possible to help you spruce up your home without making a dent in your holiday budget. If you need new wood flooring, new carpet, ceramic tile, vinyl, area rugs, or custom blinds, you want to shop at O Street Carpet. We offer 12 months same-as-cash financing, Lincoln's best selection in stock, free in-home measuring, and we'll install it right away.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. We want to make you a customer for life.
This is Jeff Essing, owner of Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping and host of Fitness Fanatics. Over the years, we've helped countless people gain strength, lose fat, build confidence, and change their life. And it all starts with the Farrell's 10-week challenge. Now is the best time to sign up with the new year right around the corner. You can enroll for the January 10-week challenge for only $299. That's 10 weeks of kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching. Head to fxblincoln.com for more information on how to enroll. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back. Welcome back to On the Block. He's Strick, Austin Norman. It is a Tuesday. Hope that all of you enjoyed a wonderful time with your families and loved ones over the holiday, and you are now recuperating from all of the food that you partook in and all of the fun times that your kids had you running around early in the morning. So we're grateful that you guys are joining us here on the block today. We know that it is. Some of you had to go back to work today. Just like
some of us are back at work right now.
We're back at work. And but as you prepare for the new year's, be careful out there. Obviously, the snow as well as the ice and the buildup there. You guys be safe on the roads. But we're going to get into a follow-up of the weekend. How did you do on your picks, Austin?
Funny enough, Nick neglected to go over them. I think he's waiting for Rico to get back. So I don't know. I don't remember what I picked before the weekend. So TBD.
To be determined. And listen, some of them over this weekend, Austin would find that this weekend was very tough on them. It was not one that they would like to look back on and say that the holidays was giving and giftful. Well, it was they received any gifts, let me say that, from this weekend. And we're going to get into it because we definitely went over it in talking about some of the teams that we thought, some of the games that we thought would be good as well. But one that I found very interesting, obviously it was quarterbacks that they're still trying to figure out and find out who's going to be the one that's going to lead the way for them. And that was the Bengals and the Steelers. It was a big game for both of those teams, in which the Steelers just literally ran away with it at home, 34-11. What's your initial take on that? I mean, let's just be real about it. It didn't look good. Jake Browning, had a big night as far as yards, but the 3 interceptions looked like they were costly, and it really cost the Bengals team a loss on the road.
It kind of reminds me of some of the early 2010s Purdue teams. They chucked the ball all around the yard, but didn't play much defense and didn't always put up a lot of points despite all the yardage. So Browning is, who we thought he was. He's fine, just a guy, kind of replaceable. But this, to me, Strick, is a bigger statement for our boy AD's Steelers. The interceptions are huge. The defense came up big time and time again. But I think this was a Mike Tomlin win in some ways, because you think back 2 weeks ago, there's that clip of Pickens not blocking as Pittsburgh's trying to run it in for a touchdown down near the goal line. His excuse is, well, I didn't want to get hurt. Other guys have gotten rolled up on, so I thought he can make it in, so that's why I didn't block. Didn't want to get hurt. A lot of coaches, I don't think would handle that well. They would bench a guy. They would chew him out. They would get after him. But this is where I think you can still see that Mike Tomlin does have that secret sauce when it comes to relating with players, because what does he do? He trusts George Pickens, says, okay, go play through it, right? You got to be better, but go play. 4 catches, 195 yards, 2 touchdowns for the young man in a situation that a lot of coaches, I don't think, even put a receiver back in on. So I give a big credit to Mike Tomlin, George Pickens for responding to his coach's challenge. And then that defense, it remains that defense. Still one of the best players on earth in TJ Watt. Heck of a win for the Steelers to keep them in playoff contention.
Yeah, I mean, I shout out to AD. I mean, he called it. He was advocating for that win the whole way, all week, and they were able to get it done. It looked very good in doing it. And as we move along, another big win, because we didn't know where this team was going, Austin. We didn't know we didn't know how this team was going to fare at the way that they went on a huge roller coaster ride at different parts of the season, where literally people were starting to write them off, but come up with 2 big wins, both on the road, where they come into Dallas, get a big win, and then they go on the road against the Chargers, who is not playing very well, had a fight, but fought through it. And it didn't even have to use Josh Allen's big arm like crazy. Again, something to monitor. We've talked about this. The high targets for Stephon Diggs, low reception number, low yards total, but they're having other guys step up. Shout out to Gabe Davis, who came up big for them, 4 catches for 130 on 6 targets. And that was huge because Josh Allen was just efficient. He didn't have to throw it all over the lot. They got 105 yards in the rush game. James Cook is continuously looking, like their go-to guy as far as getting it done in the run game. And shout out to Easton Stick. I mean, he didn't do anything to hurt the team, but kept him in the game, gave him a good opportunity to win it. He's a guy that we remember well, coming out of North Dakota and
out of Omaha even.
Yeah, but straight from us. We could have used him, a quarterback like that down in Nebraska. But they got a big win, and that's huge for them when they look at the prospects of the playoff picture.
It's big for Buffalo, not only for their own sake, but also because Indianapolis lost, because Houston lost, and because Cincinnati lost, right? Cleveland picked up a win, Pittsburgh picked up a win, but Buffalo is still just hanging around the fringes, the periphery of that wild card race. They're the 6th seed after this week, which as of now sets up a matchup with the Chiefs if things continue to play out this way. So we get, Mahomes versus Allen yet again. It's fascinating that Buffalo is still able to win despite Stephon Diggs not having a 100-yard game in like his last 9 or 10 games.
Yeah.
That's crazy. He's the headliner of that skill position core and just not much doing there. So that's a big credit to McDermott, to that defense, even to Josh Allen to some degree, for finding ways to win. Buffalo wasn't doing that early on. They had a great point differential. They would do pretty much everything right, be in games at the end, but then, one mistake would undo them, or they'd have a lot of mistakes that one player would try to Superman them back into the game with. A lot of times that was Josh Allen, who, despite Buffalo being 9-6, is still putting up good numbers. Hasn't, to me, been the reason that Buffalo is necessarily struggling. He was solid against the Chargers. Credit them for putting up a fight. This is one that Buffalo needed to have, given how the rest of the weekend ended up unfolding. I don't think I'm nearly as afraid of Buffalo right now as I am, say, the Los Angeles Rams, who are really rounding into form. Buffalo's still got some issues to figure out, but Buffalo might be starting to get hot at just the right time.
Yeah, and you just spoke about that. Very tough loss for the Colts. Didn't look very good at doing it. Arthur Smith's, goal was to help the Falcons to stay relevant in the NFC South, because it's like up in the air for that whole division. But so we don't really have to talk too much about that. We know just how hard the Colts are not going to take. They're not going to take that very well, obviously, and Colts fans, I'm sure. I mean, you're welcome to talk about it if you want, because I was going to move on and talk about the Seahawks. Big win. Colby Parkinson with a clutch TD catch that gave the Seahawks the lead in that game. Geno Smith back with 2 TDs, no interceptions. Derrick Henry's doing Derrick Henry type of stuff. It was a good game to watch, physical back and forth, but ultimately the Seahawks pulled that one out.
Also needed it, right, to stay in the fringe of that playoff race right now. So you're seeing right now, Strick, it's not as simple as who wants it more, right? There's so much more that goes into it. But with that win, Seattle moves into the 7th seed, right? You see Minnesota lose. You see Green Bay have a fight. Atlanta did win to stay on the outside looking in. But New Orleans lost, right? These last 3 weeks, Strick, you don't know who, if you're a fan of a team, who else in another conference you need to be rooting for. Who else another division you need to be rooting for. So all you can do is take care of your own business. This is a Tennessee team that's fading pretty fast this year, have a lot of questions to answer about their future. So credit Seattle for finding a way. Geno looked a little rusty early on, couldn't get much moving. Neither side could, but they stuck with him. They trusted him, hung in there, those 2 touchdowns in the 4th quarter to end up winning the game. By the end, he looked like the Geno Smith we saw, at least shades of, last year.
Yeah, no question about it. And as you talked about, tough loss at home. Minnesota really needed that one. Wasn't able to come up on it. 11-4 Detroit Lions are doing. they're just trudging along. They're just continuing to win games. And when you think about it, they're one of the teams that just usually doesn't do well normally. If you just look at their collective overall record on Christmas Day games, it's horrendous. But at the same time, it looks like they've turned over a new leaf. They're now at 11-4. They're leading the pack there in that division. No one can catch them. They are going to lead that division. And so now, does this put them? Are you feeling more confident at golf because they've got what they need? The running game is solid. Jahmyr Gibbs is solid there for them, and then Ross St. Brown is been a consistent guy for them as well on the receiving end of things. But shout out for even Nick Mullins, even though he had 4 interceptions. Just listen, he still was putting it up in the air to give them a chance to win. 411 yards. Just tough to overcome 4 interceptions in that game.
It really is. And Justin Jefferson took a shot. They went to him at the end of the game to try to tie it up. I don't blame Nick Mullins for trying to force feed the best player, maybe the best receiver in the NFL, depending on how you stand on that. I get why you go to him, but credit Detroit for making the play, which is what the Lions have done, right? They've won their fair share of close games this year. To lock the division up with 2 weeks to go is a testament to Dan Campbell and that whole team. Congrats to them on their first division title since like 93. That's a long time coming. Is Jared Goff the guy for them long term? I don't know, because we saw the last time Jared Goff was, looking like a system quarterback. What happened in the Super Bowl? The Rams got there against the Patriots, and the Patriots shut him down. So at some point here, Strick, if Detroit wants to be taken seriously as a contender, Jared Goff is going to have to make some out-of-system plays, some plays he hasn't made before to prove that he has that arm talent, that he has that moxie to carry a team through. But what you're seeing is Jared Goff can be, a really good regular season quarterback, is a guy that you can pile up regular season victories with, and now a couple of division titles. So big credit to him and that staff for finding a game plan that works for him, for believing in him, surrounding him with the talent. But now, Strick, with the playoff spot locked up, this is where Jared Goff starts to answer all the questions about him.
No doubt about it. We'll skip over a couple of games. Teams is really irrelevant. We know that the Jets are eliminated. We know Panthers are eliminated. Commanders are eliminated. They play tough games, but at the end of the day, not really much relevancy in those games. But the Browns, though, under Joe Flacco, what a name that comes out of nowhere, right? Joe Flacco, who kind of comes out of like the Undertaker, basically, and comes out of the grave and is now leading this team, the Cleveland Browns, and getting it done on the road against the Texans, obviously without CJ Stroud. But they get it done 36-22 in that win there. Flacco, couple interceptions, but look, Amari freaking Cooper. I mean, 11 catches for 265 and 2 TDs. There was nothing that Texans defense could do with him, and he gets it done.
11 for 265 and 2 touchdowns was basically the difference in my fantasy football flameout. So big shout out to my brother who had Amari Cooper on his team for that. But again, a win the Browns needed to have, but also a game the Texans needed to have. 2 teams that are fighting for playoff position. Houston losing makes me feel slightly less bad about Indianapolis losing. Same with Jacksonville, who lost to Tampa Bay. Yeah. As a Colts fan, I'm okay with those 2 results, which the Colts could have taken advantage. But how about Joe Flacco? Can't spell Joe Flacco without E-L-I-T-E. First time in his career, Strick, with 3 straight 300-yard passing games. He's 38 years old. Amari Cooper's that dude. David Njoku is solid. We know it's a good offensive line and a solid ground game. And they have, a top 5 defensive player in football in Myles Garrett. They can wreak havoc up front. I don't want to say Cleveland's got it all put together. They're still the Browns until they prove otherwise. Cleveland, though, if they found the answer at quarterback, if Joe Flacco, can be himself, be accurate, hit the big shot when it's available, avoid back-breaking mistakes, Cleveland's going to be a tough out in the AFC.
Yeah, I think that's true, especially with that defense. And if he can stay solid and they could be dangerous. 2 games left I want to just throw out there. One was a huge one. Your boy early this morning was running around the station absolutely excited because they took down the Cowboys on a last-second field goal to win that game. It was a good game, back and forth, but at the end of the day, the Fins were able to pull it out 22-20. Does this change anybody's feeling about the Cowboys moving forward, or do you feel they got a turnaround opportunity there for them as they prepare for the playoffs as they approaches?
I think this is just a solid football game, between two good teams that both had something to prove. Dallas gets the 2-game losing streak. Miami doesn't. Big credit to Miami for winning that game, pulling it out when it didn't look good late, right? Dallas goes ahead. Dak throws the touchdown to Cooks over Jalen Ramsey, right? You think that's a big moment. If Miami's best defensive player wasn't able to get that stop, you tended to think that things were trending Dallas's way. Credit to him, credit the rest of that offense for putting that drive together to go down and get the game-winning field goal all kicked. I'm still not completely sold on either of these teams, but this was a pretty high-level football game. Despite the 22-20 score, both defenses showed up and played pretty well for the most part. Both quarterbacks were solid. This was just a good football game between two good teams. So that's a tough one to have this late in the year. I think Miami obviously feels better finding a way to get the home win and trying to keep pace with Baltimore there for the 1 seed in the AFC. Dallas, already clinched a playoff spot. So now it's just seeding. Will they be able to hold off the Eagles in terms of the division race? This game didn't really impact too much for either team because it was an out-of-conference game. But you like to see that from Miami, finally beat a team with a winning record. And even though it was at home, I think that's a big step for that team.
We talked about this, and I've got to get to these last two because we've talked about how beneficial the Chiefs were in getting by with winning, with Kelsey being their sole guy that they would go to when it all was needed to get wins. It's starting to catch up with them, right? Mahomes only goes for 235 yards, but he slung that thing 44 times in a game. And yet and still, they're not able to come up with a couple of fumbles. They've had some turnovers that cost them. Mahomes, for some reason, feels very prima donna-ish in this, but a 20-14 loss to a rival is tough, especially at home. And does this give life to the Raiders, or is Mahomes and the Chiefs pretty much done easy as far as they need to make some huge and drastic changes on the
I think side? Yeah, I think both things can be true. Las Vegas hangs around the fringes of the playoff race. They get a divisional win on the road. Antonio Pierce has breathed life back into that franchise after the midseason firing of Josh McDaniels. Big credit to him. Curious to see where the Raiders go this offseason, if they stick with him or they hire from the outside. I still have no idea what to make of Mahomes and the Chiefs. I think that this is just a 1-year aberration, right? Because Mahomes has never been this poor. He posted his lowest Pro Football Focus grade of his career on Sunday. Or no, just yesterday, on Monday, just yesterday. You saw him have 5 turnover-worthy plays, including, back-to-back plays. The fumble that was returned for the touchdown, then the pick six that looked a little funky. I know a lot of Chiefs fans are blaming Matt Nagy, the offensive coordinator who was the quarterback's coach, went to Chicago to be the head coach, and then came back to replace Eric Bieniemy. Maybe this is what, Patrick Mahomes would have looked like under Matt Nagy in Chicago. I still don't think it's anything to be worried about long-term with Mahomes. He's still the best player on planet Earth until proven otherwise. But Brett Veach and the rest of that organization, including Andy Reid at head coach, needs to take a look at that roster, needs to take a look at that coaching staff, and make sure they don't waste another year of Patrick Mahomes' prime. What better resource is there in sports than a quarterback in his prime? There's not one. Kansas City can't afford any more wasted years like this one.
No question about it. And last but not least, the Baltimore Ravens go on the road out to Cali in Santa Clara and steal one, a big one for them. Total implications about as far as positioning in the playoffs, having home field advantage, all of that. That was huge to go in there. Plus, you're possibly looking at MVP ramifications. A lot of people was pubbing up Brock Purdy, talking about his numbers, where they stand, and he goes in, and it's like, it felt like it was a tip drill. It was like a constant balls were getting tipped and put in the air and intercepted all over the place. McCaffrey does what he's supposed to do. The other guys do what they're supposed to do. Big nights for George Kittle as well as Brandon Ayuk. But at the end of the day, 4 INTs for Brock Purdy. Does this eliminate him out of the MVP discussion with this type of loss?
I think it does because of how bad it looked. I mean, you definitely have to credit Baltimore's defense, right? They made him look hesitant, unsure. They were more physical at the line of scrimmage, both in the run game and in the pass game. The timing looked off for the 49ers basically all day, and Brock Purdy wasn't able to overcome it. So that's a huge credit to Mike McDonald and to Baltimore for that. But the reason I think it takes Brock Purdy out of the MVP running is because not only did you see his teammate Christian McCaffrey still have, a solid game, get his, you saw Lamar Jackson be the best player on the field. Efficient through the air, made, timely plays when he had to, was the leading rusher for Baltimore as well, even though, I don't think they overused him. Had the fewest carries of anyone to run the ball, but the most yards. Lamar Jackson is putting together a stellar year. He's the best player on, right now, the number 1 seed in the AFC. So, yeah, I think the fact that Lamar Jackson showed up in this game against a still good defense, obviously aided by his own defense and getting a lot of short fields and a lot of turnovers to keep points off the board. Just a great team win for Baltimore. Again, opposite conferences, thinking about it as a potential Super Bowl preview. You can give me another game between these two teams, and I don't think it ends up with a 14-point margin. I think this is a 1-score game if we get it again in a Super Bowl. These are two teams that have spent some time looking like the best team in their respective conferences. We've seen roller coasters in both of them, but right now, Baltimore's playing like the best team in football.
Yeah, they look very good. And that's going to end this segment right here. Any thoughts, any questions or concerns about what we discussed, or any issues that you thought we were out of line on? 402-464-5685. You can always hit us there, or you can always show us love. We appreciate the gifting of love that you guys share with us on there, and the conversations that you spark up as well. But we're going to come back and we're going to talk about Washington State as well as Oregon State now becoming affiliate members with the West Coast, the WCC, the West Coast Conference. Gosh, obviously in basketball and stuff, that'll be dope because you've got Gonzaga, you've got Santa Clara, you've got some San Francisco, you've got some good teams over there. But what does that mean for the Mountain West Conference? And I think we'll debate which conference we think would be a better fit for that grouping, and does it make sense, or is it worse? Who is it worse for? Not landing the Oregon State and Washington State. We'll talk more about that when we come back on the next break on The Block right after this.
John Henry's would like to remind you, if you haven't already, to unhook your outdoor hoses and check faucets for leaks so your pipes don't freeze. As the official plumber of the Huskers, you know who to call when a plumbing issue arises. From frozen pipes to clogged drains, we can help you protect your home this winter. Give John Henry's a call today to schedule at
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
This is Jeff Essing, owner of Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping and host of Fitness Fanatics. Over the years, we've helped countless people gain strength, lose fat, build confidence, and change their life. And it all starts with the Farrell's 10-Week Challenge. Now is the best time to sign up with the new year right around the corner. You can enroll for the January 10-Week Challenge for only $299. That's 10 weeks of kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching. Head to fxblincoln.com for more information on how to enroll. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
I could write a commercial telling you how great waffle weekends are at the chocolate season. Or I could just have Rico read you the menu.
Banana Nutella topped Belgian waffle with homemade whipped cream, chocolate chips, and freshly sliced bananas. Baconator, buttermilk waffle with bacon slices tucked inside, topped with salted whipped butter, caramelized pecans, and pure maple syrup.
Waffle weekend brunches at the Chocolate Season.
PB&J.
40th and Old Cheney, or online at thechocolateseason.com.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, Investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats. Dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people. Small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Your Christmas list changes a lot as you get older. Dreams of video games, remote control cars, and baseball gloves turn into dreams of shoes. You know, practical things. Brown Shoe Fit is the king of shoes in Lincoln, with brands like Sorel, Ugg, Brooks, Hoka, and more to make you fashionable and comfortable. Grab a new Ridge wallet or buy 3, get 1 free on smart wool socks for the ultimate stocking stuffer. And don't forget a reliable gift card for that hard-to-buy person in your life. Brown Shoe Fit at 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Introducing The Outlet by Sartor Heyman. The Outlet brings you luxurious Sartor Heyman quality jewelry at unbeatable prices. Shop our expansive inventory of overstocked merchandise and a vast estate collection that just hasn't found its home yet. This is your chance to own stunning designer jewelry at a fraction of the cost. Elevate your style at The Outlet by Sartor Heyman, where luxury and affordability meet. Downtown at 12th and O or online at sartorheyman.com.
Today's agenda includes office meetings this morning, followed by a client lunch, then back to the office for another meeting, and ending the day with a presentation at a client's office. When you are on the go, you need an office phone that goes with you. At Hamilton, our business phone systems make it easy to sync your office phone features to your cell phone for quick and seamless call handling, no matter where you work. If your current office phone can't do this, you need better. Hire your local experts. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
New year, new career. The new year is just around the corner. Why not start it off strong with a new career? General Excavating is looking for qualified underground utility project managers. Check out our website, generalexcavating.com, or call 402-467-1627 for more information. Happy holidays from General Excavating.
A child's learning doesn't just happen in a classroom. It happens wherever they are, all day, every day. What you teach your child at home is every bit as important as what they learn in school. Talk to your child about your family, your history, the food you eat, the holidays you celebrate, and the values that are important to you. Tolerance, honesty, respect. Remember, you are your child's first and most important teacher.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Ready to make this season unforgettable? Celebrate with Liberty First Credit Union's low-rate debt consolidation loan. Combine all those bills into one affordable monthly payment with quick access to funds. Imagine all the extra cash for holiday shopping sprees, festive parties, or that well-deserved vacation. Stop by any of their branches or visit libertyfirstcu.com to find out more about their low-rate debt consolidation loan. Make this holiday season one to remember and celebrate with Liberty First Credit Union, banking with purpose.
It's time to play Shootout with Strick. Call now, 464-5685, to take your shot against Erick Strickland. Shootout with Strick. Brought to you by Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Time to play the game!
Oh, yeah. Once again, we're back on the block, and we welcome you in. If you have not joined us, it has been off to a great start. We talked about men's basketball and what's ahead for them for the upcoming month. We also talked about a recap over the weekend, some of the games that were meaningful and some of the games that just wasn't, but we got a chance to see some of the storylines. We talked about those a little bit as well. Now we're going to get into something that's happening. We talked about the fall and the Pac-12 just literally disappearing. It's one that I didn't expect. I thought we would probably see the SEC go first, but obviously it is the Pac-12. They are no longer an entity. And a couple of teams that got left out there is Washington State and Oregon State at this point in time. We know that Oregon and Washington will be coming into the Big Ten next year. We also know there's 4 teams because we got UCLA on the south side. So we got the Northeast, the Northwest, and well as the Southwest in California. That'll be coming over as well with UCLA and USC. That left Washington State, Oregon State, because Arizona and Arizona State shot over to the Big 12. and that's going to be their addition there. That's going to bode well for their basketball programs as well. But now, what happens with Washington State and Oregon State? They had a decision to make. That decision was, do we go over to the MWC or the Mountain West Conference, or do we go over to the WCC? Why does it make sense? So let's start there. Before we get into the discussion of whether it's better or worse for the for the NWC, the Mountain West Conference, or whether or not it's good for them to go to the WCC, let's talk first about why. Is it only logistical? Is it by way of, just staying in that region, staying connected to that region? Because most of those teams in the WCC go from California all the way up, the coast to Washington. So what do you think it is, and why would it Washington State or Oregon State benefit from that move?
I think it has to do with football going to the MWC, but all the other sports can stay a little more regional, a little more geographic, right? I mean, the Mountain West does stretch a little further. So I think logistics are a big piece of that. But I also think they're just better fits in the WCC. The Mountain West is pretty well situated. I think Oregon State baseball is going to prefer playing in the WCC to playing in the Mountain West. I think Washington State volleyball is going to prefer the WCC to the Mountain West. The Mountain West, probably better in football, definitely better in basketball in terms of the depth of the conference. But for all the other sports, because like baseball, softball, the basketballs, volleyball, I think soccer teams as well.
You got some polo in there as well and stuff like that, which obviously those West Coast teams do.
Right. I just think that's going to be a better fit and probably better level of competition for Oregon State. Really, I think the football transition with Mountain West will be fine. But I think especially Gonzaga was pushing to get these couple replacements in the WCC. Not that Oregon State and Washington State are, great elite power players or anything, but the WCC had to replace BYU. As BYU left for the Big 12 a couple of years ago. They were looking for someone to pick up that slack. If you look up and down the West Coast Conference roster, we know Gonzaga, they're good. It's basically their conference. San Francisco's had a good couple years recently. They're fun, worth keeping an eye on. San Diego's here and there. Santa Clara's been in the mix. St. Mary's is having a bit of a down year, but I'm still a big Randy Bennett guy. I do enjoy me the Gales out there quite a bit. But the WCC needed that boost a lot more than the Mountain West did. If you look at the Mountain West, basketball lineup, you have Utah State, who made the tournament, solid team. Nevada is kind of resurgent. New Mexico under Rick Pitino's son. You have Colorado State, who smacked Creighton, has been in the NCAA tournament recently. You have San Diego State, who made it all the way to the national championship game last year. Wyoming has been, bubble worthy, kind of first four out for last four in conversation. You have Air Force, who's interesting. Boise State, who's been in the fringes of the tournament, if not in that 10 or 11 seed mix. So the Mountain West is already a really solid basketball conference. It probably would have gotten slightly stronger if you add two, former Power 5, Power 6 brands in basketball in Oregon and Washington States. But I think the WCC needed the boost worse than the Mountain West did, especially in basketball.
Yeah, I think it does. It raises that level because if you're Gonzaga, you just don't want to be the only kid playing on the playground, right? You want to make sure there's other forces that can challenge you there in those areas. And as we talked about with San Francisco not normally being where they are, St. Mary's is kind of teetering a little bit. Santa Clara is not how they would be all the time, but there's kind of whether it be up or down at times. Just to add a couple of more solid programs into the mix.
Stable programs that already have some money in the bank that will be able to bring a little bit of cachet. The last thing I'll add on this, Strick, before we take a break here is 8983 on the text line asks, why wouldn't Washington State and Oregon State invite the best teams from the Mountain West and the WCC and keep the Pac-12 moniker? For a couple reasons. Number one, there might not be a Pac-12 anymore, right? Washington State and Oregon State probably won't be enough to keep, even that branding, that moniker together. My guess is the league office dissolves or is absorbed into other places in some capacity. So they might even have to form a new conference. The other part is the Mountain West and West Coast teams, despite being, quote unquote, mid-major conferences, are acting from the position of strength right now. They have more leverage. They have TV rights. They have conference schedules and that stability and structure in place that Washington State and Oregon State don't have. So just because those schools would make the jump to a conference called the Pac-12, that would be, I think, a step down because you're combining two lower level conferences trying to, put lipstick on a pig to some degree to make a quote unquote power conference. Whereas I think those other leagues would take a slight step up in the group of five mid-major level by adding these power conference teams. There are just so many more variables at play than just, well, Washington State and Oregon State are the stronger schools. They're really not. San Diego State and Gonzaga right now have more say than those two schools do.
Absolutely. I would have to agree with you on that. And unfortunately, we can't dig too much further, but you can always text in and we'll get a segment to where we can look at the Sutter-Heyman text line and see what you guys are talking about there, 402-464-5685. We're going to take a break now. We're going to get into the second hour. In the second hour, we're going to have some discussion and talk a little bit more about the NBA and what transpired over the holiday for them. And let's see, we'll also get into the transfers. There's some transfers out there potentially at the quarterback position. We talked about briefly about Tate Rodemaker, who is looking to make a jump out of FSU. Obviously, will not be playing in the bowl game against Georgia. And then Maryland, it's something tricky about this one now. Maryland, there's going to be some stuff that may be needed for him to make this move, but we'll get into those and how that's going to look. And it sounds like they're trying to petition for a Miami dual threat type of Tagovailoa situation down there. We'll get into some of those things when we get back. We're on the block 2 to 4 right here. We'll see you right back after this. Happy holidays, folks.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of local union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Ready to make this season unforgettable? Celebrate with Liberty First Credit Union's low-rate debt consolidation loan. Combine all those bills into one affordable monthly payment with quick access to funds. Imagine all the extra cash for holiday shopping sprees, festive parties, or that well-deserved vacation. Stop by any of their branches or visit libertyfirstcu.com to find out more about their low-rate debt consolidation loan. Make this holiday season one to remember and celebrate with Liberty First Credit Union, banking with purpose.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
Tailored Lights is your go-to local manufacturer and installer of the best landscape lighting. Tailored Lights is excited to highlight the architecture of your home or business and provide a warm environment that feels safe. And for those outside the Lincoln area, they do ship across the country and are happy to work with anyone near or far with lights anywhere from 18 inches to 110 inches. Enhance your curb appeal with an exquisite Tailored Light today. Call 402-432-2572 or go to tailoredlights.com.
The Southern Pecan Cake from Beatrice Bakery. They don't just let you call anything Southern, especially when it's baked right here in Nebraska. There are standards you have to meet, like a rich, decadent, moist caramel cake? Check. Bursting with too many large pecans to count? Check. Big enough to share with the whole group? Check. but delicious enough that you won't want to share? A big check on that one. The Southern Pecan Cake, the newest cake to the Beatrice Bakery lineup. Try it for yourself at Beatrice Bakery. Online at BeatriceBakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Are you looking for some holiday fun? This year, start a new tradition. Make the Nebraska Christmas Light Show experience an annual event for your family and a cherished memory to look forward to every year. From Black Friday to January 3rd, buckle up and tune into the rhythm of the lights and let the magic of Christmas take over with the show. Now located at Star City Shores, just off of 27th and Highway 2. Buy your tickets for just $20 or $25 per car today at NebraskaChristmasLightShow.com.
24/7 threat monitoring, expert tech support, streamlined communications. Allo has a solution for that. Protect your business with Allo Business. Comprehensive firewall security, Microsoft Teams voice integrated communications, cybersecurity and IT support managed by experts. From productivity to peace of mind, Allo has a solution for that. Allo means business. Protect your business by visiting allofiber.com/business.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
A child's learning doesn't just happen in a classroom. It happens wherever they are, all day, every day. What you teach your child at home is every bit as important as what they learn in school. Talk to your child about your family, your history, the food you eat, the holidays you celebrate, and the values that are important to you. Tolerance, honesty, respect. Remember, you are your child's first and most important teacher.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
There's only one place this holiday season to shop for the sports fan in your life and get cash back for slightly used sports items you don't need anymore. Play It Again Sports. Check out their selection of new and used items, including home fitness equipment like treadmills, exercise bikes, and ellipticals. And get your lift with free weights, benches, and racks to add to your home gym. And don't forget, if you have anything slightly used to trade in, they'll give you instant cash. Holiday shopping starts and ends at Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Southeast Community College invites you to check out our spaces ahead of your official campus visit. Our virtual campus tours let you see our campuses and learn more about our programs of study. Then you can schedule your individual visit in person or virtually. Virtual tours of our campuses in Beatrice, Lincoln, or Milford, and our learning centers are online at southeast.edu/visit SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Erick Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Hour 2 of our first show of the week. That's right. It is Christmas week. Hope you and yours had a blessed Christmas and have a great rest of the week, right? We'll be with you 2 to 4, obviously, today, tomorrow, Thursday, Friday as well, before we send you off into the new year, right? So thank you for tuning in, making us part of your end of the year week here, whether you're with your family, your friends, whatever it is that you're up to. Really appreciate y'all tuning in. Appreciate Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul for sponsoring the show, as well as the Starter Heyman Jewelers for sponsoring our video stream and our text line. We will have a trivia question for you coming up next segment. No shootout with Strick today since he's out of town, but we'll still give the $30 to Buffalo Wings and Rings away here in 15-20 minutes or so. We got plenty to jump into before that, though. The transfer portal continues to be jumping, be popping off. A couple big name guys, a couple big name schools involved here, Strick. Let's start with really the school that's been shrouded in controversy. You know, not for anything it did or didn't do necessarily, not its own fault, But Florida State, obviously left on the doorstep of the college football playoff. They won't be playing in it, not explicitly due to the Jordan Travis injury, but that I'm sure played a factor for the committee. Well, not only will they be without Jordan Travis in their matchup with Georgia in the Orange Bowl, they'll be without backup quarterback Tate Rodemaker, who started in place of him. And the reason I think this is interesting is because of the statement that Tate Rodemaker and his family put out, or a source reported to 24/7. Here's what the source said. This decision to enter the portal was incredibly difficult. However, with the unforgiving nature of the calendar relative to transfer portal players and bowl games and limited opportunities remaining for transfer quarterbacks, the family felt this move was in Tate's best interest. Florida State has quite publicly recruited multiple quarterbacks in this transfer cycle, so Tate and his family reluctantly came to the decision that now was the time to move on. That statement wraps up everything we think about the transfer portal in terms of the limited amount of time, the condensed nature of the calendar, including a bowl game and a high-profile late bowl game like the Orange Bowl, on top of Florida State was going over him. They were recruiting over him, being linked to DJ Uyunglele, being linked to Cam Ward, all sorts of guys down there at Florida State that they've been linked to. It's not surprising that a backup quarterback would transfer, but we have never seen a statement say all the quiet parts out loud like this one did.
Oh, it's tough, but it's one based on the statement that we've all had the opportunity to weigh and think about and to consider because of the timing situation. And I think this situation is going to come up, especially when you're looking at the expansion. They're going to have to figure out a way to get that timing issue on point, because it's hindering players, it's hindering definitely quarterbacks in making a decision as to, I promise you that he didn't want to, as he said, reluctantly. He said it reluctantly. He didn't want to have to do this. He would have loved to have played in that bowl game. And obviously it could raise the bar for him in so many ways. But at the same time, because of the timing, because of what's going on in the recruitment, he felt that he had to do this right now. There's no better time than now than to do that situation, because opportunities are not going to open up. They're going to close. Because universities, programs are going to go after guys that they feel fit their scheme or their need or their situation. And so they're going to be looking at that. Now, unless you are a top tier type of guy like a Dylan Gabriel or something like that, that's hit the transfer portal at this particular time, then you might have an opportunity that still opens up and is afforded to you. But most of the situations aren't going to happen like that, especially if you're a backup guy, somebody who's a backup. I mean, if you're Jordan Travis, anybody and their mama, barring situations with the injury, they're going to take you. They're going to wait on you. Like if you're talking to them and you're like, hey, I'm all in for you, but I need to do this or I need to do that. Again, the timing of the transfers is what's going to be the hindrance of that. And so I think that's the NCAA or whoever the governing body is going to try to figure that out.
Or maybe they're not. Like, I think they should, right? For the student athlete's sake, because they should take a look at it, maybe adjust the calendar it'd have to be for everyone, not just for teams that make a bowl game. But Strick, I also wonder if the NCAA is going to leave the window the way it is to try and discourage some transfer portaling. If that would be one way that they would say they could try to calm the waters, is by not moving that window, because it does force athletes into tough decisions. It gives them, a timetable that, there's a lot to think about. But if they're thinking of transferring, they'll pour more of their time into making that decision. If they're thinking of staying, they'll pour more time into bowl game prep. So I think on the surface, I would like them to, shift the window by maybe a week or two. But maybe the NCAA says, nah, we're good, because this way we can limit some of the numbers, at least in the transfer portal, which, again, we don't have the final numbers yet because there's a week or so to go. But there's already more players in the transfer portal this year than the year before. It absolutely does continue to grow.
Yes, it's continued to grow. And will there be any, just thinking about this whole thing, right? What would limit the transfer portal from being just this hodgepodge of just people wanting to jump in there. Do you view it at this point as money grabs? Just, looking for better opportunities? You're talking with your home team, a combination of both, or just looking at seeking better opportunities? Because we've seen on a lot of occasions, we only hear the big stories, Austin. We only hear the stories of the successes. We don't hear the stories of the non-success. A person goes and kind of gets lost in the shuffle, or a person goes and he doesn't pan out, or he did better where he was. We don't hear a lot of those stories. I think they need to raise the visibility of some of those bad situations to help in the decision-making process for younger people that really want to get out there and understand what's really behind it. Is it an entity needed to be created? Are we doing them a disservice? I mean, I don't know. I'm just spitballing right now at this point, man, because it's something that I think needs to be figured out.
Let me flip that question around to you with a specific example in mind. Taulia Tagovailoa and his family are trying to get a waiver that would allow him to transfer from Maryland to, most likely, Miami, where, as you alluded to at the end of last hour, his brother Tua is tearing it up for the Dolphins. The reason he would need a waiver is that Taulia played in 5 games as a freshman at Alabama. Yep, he was there on the roster with his brother, played in 5 games, which is, according to my math, 1 more than you're allowed, right? 4 is 1 less than 5. 5 is one greater than 4. So because he burned the red shirt, didn't have it, he used his one-time transfer to get to Maryland, where he holds basically every school passing record. Now, his family wants him to be able to go down to Miami and play for the Hurricanes for a year. Mike Loxley was on a radio show, and he talked about this. He said, it's just the nature of the business at this point. He wishes it wasn't the case. He wants Taulia to use that 5th year of eligibility at Maryland. He says Maryland did a good job of giving Taulia an opportunity to step out of his brother's shadow and hopes that he would recognize that. But Loxley also said he stopped getting too attached to players, because even someone with all the records like Taulia has might still be chasing the bigger payday. Maybe he wants it, but it seems like his family behind the scenes is really trying to orchestrate this, maybe even more so than Taulia is.
Yeah, I mean, it's a marketing ploy. It's a marketing play. You need to have both the Tagovailoas down in Miami slinging it. That's definitely a big marketing play. On top of that, you're looking at potentially $1.5 to $2 million in NIL raise of the money. But again, it's going to require something. One, it depends on how you handle the situation or how you're dealing with the situation in Maryland, because guess who's got to sign off on you potentially even getting the waiver? First, you got to get the waiver. Second, you got to get sign-offs. You got to get both Alabama and Maryland to sign off on it. So
and why would
they? Right. You put yourself in the hands of the powers that be. And the other bad thing about it is the percentages of you getting down there doesn't look bad, even though it's archaic as far as how the transfer portal and just all this stuff is going right now. But at the same time, we just don't know. We don't know if they're going to even be able to get a waiver. So this could be a moot point at the end of the day, but we know that the move wants to be made, and we'll just see, because there's a lot of people that got turned down. Right? A lot of people have gotten turned down, so we're going to see.
A lot of people who have gotten turned down for legitimate reasons, for family reasons, for personal reasons. And here's the thing. We get it. It's the business of college football. And maybe the argument is that if the NCAA doesn't allow this waiver, it's antitrust. It's getting in the way of business, of free enterprise that the Tagovailoas are trying to exercise. I don't know. It's for lawyers. Hopefully we have some lawyer friends listening who would care to break down what it is the Tagovailoas could argue. But the point is that no one has successfully argued this before. You knew the 4-game redshirt rule was in effect at Alabama. You played in 5 anyways. You knew your time in college was coming to an end. Maybe you should have thought about transferring to Miami a year before. Sit out a year and then go play at Miami. There's so many other ways this could have been handled. And yes, I know Tagovailoa is a big name. It's a notable name. but it's not so big that I think they're going to win this case. Like not at all. They're good. It's a big family right now. They're not historical. They don't have that much clout. I find it very hard to believe that this waiver, gets the first 5 words written out, let alone gets to the point where all he needs is the signatures.
I have to agree with you. I think it's going to be tough. It's going to be a serious uphill climb, similar to like if you're climbing Mount Everest. You've got to go through base camps. I mean, I don't even know if this one gets past base 1 out of 3. There's 3 camps you got to go through to rise to the top and to the pinnacle of Mount Everest. I don't even know if this one gets past 1. And it's not because no one likes Tagovailoa or Baby Tua, but I just think it is part of it's par for the course, and it's an area in which the NCAA's got to put down their foot at some point, right? Because here's the deal: if you open the door for one, if one situation, we're seeing this on lawsuits, we're seeing this on all types of stuff. If one gets through or one situation happens, it's usually a snowball effect. You're going to see a whole bunch of people asking the question, why didn't mine come through? Why didn't mine? How come him? You're going to have, and then you're going to have possibly other back lawsuits. That's more money out of your coffers. And then you're going to have a whole ton of other people jumping in, and then they're going to cite the Tagovailoa case. So I don't know. It's just one of those things where there might be some hesitancy from the powers that be to pull the trigger on that.
Let's go to the text line here. Again, 402-464-5685 if you've got any thoughts. John in Cortland says the coaches will have to take a stand. Loyalty to a team is history. The kids have no reason to stay. Show me the money. I get where you're coming from, John, but part of the argument that players have in terms of their freedom of movement with the transfer portal, why players don't think there should be waivers, is because of how freely coaches move. That's part of it. Is that coaches are more than free to take a pay raise to move from being an assistant coach to being a coordinator, or from being a coordinator to being a head coach. Coaches can move around freely, like any of us could, right? I could leave the ticket. I could go somewhere else for a pay bump and a title increase with no penalty to me, right? It's my life. It's my career. It's my profession. Coaches are allowed to move around. Players are the ones with the restrictions where they get one free move and then they have to have the waiver, or it has to, be approved by the NCAA. So you can't have the coaches be the ones pushing loyalty when they are 100% well within their rights to do this. But when coaches are the ones that have the freedom of movement, coaches are the ones that are jumping ship from not just, Group of 5 school to Power 5 school, but from Power 5 assistant to Power 5 coordinator to Power 5 head coach. So few coaches, stick around at one place unless there's a significant pay bump that I can't say with a straight face that coaches have to be the ones enforcing loyalty, because we're not holding them to that standard right now.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's a lot of the pushback and the why as to why that this probably won't happen that way, because there is so much freedom of movement. I mean, chancellors, not GMs, but what the position that I think on the professional level, the position that Trev Albers holds,
athletic directors.
Yeah. So athletic directors, everybody can move with freedom of movement except for those players. Now I understand there has to be some guardrails in there. There has to be some protections in there, but you've opened the gate, and at this point, it's like we said, it's tough to put the toothpaste back in into the tube. It's out there now, so you just got to try to minimize the pain of it as much as possible. And what does that look like? Shoot, I still don't have a clue, because it's such a free for all, Austin. I still don't have a clue as to how it's going to pan out.
No one does, and that's part of the reason we're seeing college athletics in the mess that it's in right now. So Charlie Baker, the new NCAA president, trying to propose solutions for NIL. Maybe that would stem the tide of the transfer portal to some degree, but that's an optimistic 5 years down the road, if not closer to 10, maybe 15. So we don't have answers. We won't have answers for a while, at least in the college football realm. We do have some answers in the NBA. Who won the Christmas Day games? Who lost them? What stood out to the 9-year NBA vet? We'll get Strick's thoughts on NBA Christmas Day games, some of the key players, some of the key matchups from just yesterday. We'll dive into that as we continue hour 2 of On the Block with your chance to win $30 to Buffalo Wings and Rings with a trivia question after this.
Introducing The Outlet by Sartor Heyman. The Outlet brings you luxurious Sartor Heyman quality jewelry at unbeatable prices. Shop our expansive inventory of overstocked merchandise and a vast estate collection that just hasn't found its home yet. This is your chance to own stunning designer jewelry at a fraction of the cost. Elevate your style at The Outlet by Sartor Heyman, where luxury and affordability meet. Downtown at 12th and O or online at sartorheyman.com.
Ready to make this season unforgettable? Celebrate with Liberty First Credit Union's low-rate debt consolidation loan. Combine all those bills into one affordable monthly payment with quick access to funds. Imagine all the extra cash for holiday shopping sprees, festive parties, or that well-deserved vacation. Stop by any of their branches or visit libertyfirstcu.com to find out more about their low-rate debt consolidation loan. Make this holiday season one to remember and celebrate with Liberty First Credit Union, banking with purpose.
School taught you all about the 4 seasons, spring, summer, and so on. And then there's the way we really tell what time of year it is in sports seasons. Football season, baseball season, or off season. But what's the chocolate season? Well, it's now. And now, and now, and always. Whether you're looking for a caffeinated pick-me-up on the way to work, a little snack on the way home, or you need the perfect gift that's sure to be appreciated, it's time for the chocolate season. 40th and Old Cheney, or order ahead at thechocolateseason.com.
Today's agenda includes office meetings this morning, followed by a client lunch, then back to the office for another meeting, and ending the day with a presentation at a client's office. When you are on the go, you need an office phone that goes with you. At Hamilton, our business phone systems make it easy to sync your office phone features to your cell phone for quick and seamless call handling, no matter where you work. If your current office phone can't do this, you need better. Hire your local experts. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
What a day. I could sure use an afternoon pick-me-up. Hold up. The new 93.7 The Ticket location has a milk, coffee, and tea inside? Oh, yeah. This is a game changer.
Need an afternoon pick-me-up? How about a coffee or smoothie on your way to work? Stop by the Ticket Mill location on 1040 O Street to get your go-to drink or try out our new game day drinks exclusive to the Ticket Mill location. We know it'll make your day a million times better.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
There's only one place this holiday season to shop for the sports fan in your life and get cash back for slightly used sports items you don't need anymore. Play It Again Sports. Check out their selection of new and used items, including home fitness equipment like treadmills, exercise bikes, and ellipticals, and get your lift with free weights, benches, and racks to add to your home gym. And don't forget, if you have anything slightly used to trade in, they'll give you instant cash. Holiday shopping starts and ends at Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Are you looking for some holiday fun? This year, start a new tradition. Make the Nebraska Christmas Lights Show experience an annual event for your family and a cherished memory to look forward to every year. From Black Friday to January 3rd, buckle up and tune into the rhythm of the lights and let the magic of Christmas take over with the show. Now located at Star City Shores, just off of 27th and Highway 2. Buy your tickets for just $20 or $25 per car today at NebraskaChristmasLightShow.com.
Step into healing at Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery. Our team of top-notch medical professionals turns pain into progress with state-of-the-art treatments and compassionate care. Visit prairieortho.com and discover the difference in quality orthopedic and plastic surgery services tailored to your unique needs. Your health matters, and Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery is dedicated to helping you thrive. Reach your full potential. Embrace a better tomorrow with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery.
Southeast Community College invites you to check out our spaces ahead of your official campus visit. Our virtual campus tours let you see our campuses and learn more about our programs of study. Then you can schedule your individual visit in person or virtually. Virtual tours of our campuses in Beatrice, Lincoln, or Milford, and our learning centers are online at southeast.edu/visit SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back. Austin Norman and Erick Strickland with you, leaning on the NBA brain of the 9-year NBA vet here in this segment as we take a look back at the NBA Christmas Day games. There were 5 of them, all sorts of interesting news and notes to get to. But first, I did promise we'd give the $30 to Buffalo Wings and Rings away. So, Stricky, we're going to do this over-under like we normally would for the tiebreaker during the shootout with Strick. How many players have scored 50 or more points in an NBA Christmas Day game? How many players have scored 50 or more points in an NBA Christmas Day game?
Over the lifespan of the NBA.
Over the lifespan of the NBA. How many players have dropped 50 on Christmas Day?
I'm going to say 8.
Okay, text line. Actually, let's do this. Comment section. Not text line. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter stream. If you're number 3 in with over or under, whichever is correct, over under 8 players dropping 50 points on Christmas Day, you will win the $50 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. So keep that question in mind. We'll give you the answer at the end of the segment or as soon as we have a winner. Again, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter streams. Number 3, commenter number 3 with the right answer, over or under. All right, Strick, let's dive into the games just in chronological order here to make it simple. Warriors put up a fight against the Nuggets, but ultimately the defending champs win it 120-114. 2 things stand out to me about this game. Number 1, Steve Kerr's comments after the game about Nikola Jokic's 18 free throw attempts. 18 is a pretty high number, but not what we've seen under, Trae Young or peak James Harden necessarily. I think a lot of those comments from Steve Kerr were just frustration about how the season's gone, very generally speaking, and they just kind of boiled over here. But this stood out to me too, Strick. Steph Curry on Christmas has been abysmal. Not the Steph Curry that we're used to on Christmas Day games specifically. So Steph Curry has played in a Christmas Day game 10 times. Steph Curry averages 15.6 points, 6.4 assists, and 4.6 rebounds in his career. That's like 3rd or 4th option stuff out of a top 10 player of all time, top 5 player of all time, potentially. He's shooting 31.7% from the floor on Christmas and 23% from 3 on Christmas. That's just bizarre for a player of Steph Curry's caliber to be so bad so consistently on one specific day.
Yeah, I don't know. It must not be the cooking. So, either he's got the itis or something else is going on in that whole in the Curry household. It ain't Chef Curry when it comes to Christmas. It's something else. Just sit down and let Santa bring the gifts, because he's not bringing the gifts. That's the thing I see with that. Now, it's sad, but yet it's understandable. I mean, just the mental capacities. Here that he's on the road. You got to go on the road. You've got a family that's growing. They're coming into close to their teen years, and now all of a sudden you're consistently, you have to be on the road, and it's hard. It's not easy. It's a different type of mental preparation that you have to get up for. being on the road and being at home. Now, the refereeing has always been abysmal for me. It's been terrible. Like, it's been horrible. I don't even know what to say about it these days. Sometimes some of the stuff I see, especially being a former referee, some of the stuff I see, I go, I like my mind has the big poof question marks all the way in my head.
The Nick Young.
No clue. The Nick Young question marks pop all the time. Sometimes when I'm looking at these games, what are you watching? What did you see there? Why did you make that call? That didn't make any sense. I mean, it's a lot of that stuff going on. And so I don't know what to say about it. I really can't say anything about it because Steve Kerr, like you said, I think it's a frustration thing. I think it's just being mad or upset with what's going on in the season. Obviously, the Draymond Green, the suspension, and all that stuff going on, and then the team is not very good. Then you've got Klay Thompson. You don't know what to do with him. Obviously, whether you put him on the bench or you bring him off the bench, you don't know what's going on there. You're still trying to figure out Chris Paul's situation and how you navigate those things. And it's a tough thing at this point to weigh out, and they're not looking like there's any upside to it at this point.
I'm with you. We do have a right answer to the trivia question. Chris and Jamie were in at the same time, but Jamie actually guessed the right number. So Jamie, on the Facebook stream, if you are still listening, so with us, give us a text here, 402-464-5685. We'll get your information. We'll put you down as the winner of the $30 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. We'll give you the context behind that question here in just a little bit. We go from the west to the east here, Strick. The Knicks beat the Bucks. The Bucks had already beat the Knicks 3 times this year, so the Knicks finally get one over on them. What we're seeing is a very different Bucks team that's scoring more consistently and more effectively now with Dame Lillard at the point guard position as opposed to Drew Holiday. But what we're also seeing is the defense has taken a step back at the point of attack. Dame is not the same defender. Milwaukee has gotten shredded by opposing guards. Tyrese Halliburton has gone off. Last night, though, it was the little lefty, Jalen Brunson, going off for 38 points as the Knicks get on the board against the Bucks.
Whew! I always said that young man was built different. I know the stock he comes from. What an efficient night for him too, shooting 15 for 28. That's over 50%. Didn't take a lot of threes, so he was getting it done. You know, in this 3 era, to only take 3 threes and still be able to put up a 38 piece, that's solid. That's a solid night. Then you have 6 assists with no turnovers. Young fella showed up. He showed up on Christmas. And one thing you can say about it, it's a home game. You know what I mean? There's no better way than to get the good cooking, sleep in your own bed, show up on Christmas. You get to spend some time with your family, go through the regular routines that you must deal with, but you do that at home. Whereas on the road, some of these young men have families and young children, and to be away from them, this is probably some of the first times that they're really having to do this in this space. Some have older children, but it weighs on you when you have to be away from them now that they're getting older. So yeah, it's a tough thing, but both of those players played well. Tutukumbo and both Lillard played very well, having 32 points apiece, but wasn't enough.
It was not. Again, the Knicks end up winning that game 129-122. Let's do the one cross conference matchup here. The Celtics and the Lakers on Christmas Day out at the. Is it still the Staples Center? I don't know. The home.
No,
of the
it's changed. It's crypto something.
That's right.
Crypto.
Anyways, out in LA, Celtics and Lakers. The Celtics win it by 11, 126-115. The story, though, for me, Strick, is Anthony Davis, who still reminds us that he's got that talent in him to be a game-changing force. With LeBron, I think he was out, 40 points and 13 rebounds for Anthony Davis in last night's game. Not enough for the Lakers, obviously, but you see these big performances from Anthony Davis. I'll even throw like Karl Anthony Towns into this conversation. That makes you wonder, why aren't those guys more consistent? How can they not be more consistent presences on both offense and defense? 6'11", movement skills, length, should be able to defend the rim very well. With AD, I mean, it seems like it's injuries. Karl Anthony Towns, maybe it's mindset. But Anthony Davis reminded us, even in a loss last night, that he can still be a top 10 player in the NBA when he wants to be.
Yeah, that's the part. What's the nickname they call him?
Alternating days.
Alternating days. Yeah. Listen, that's what it is. It seems like for him, there's days when he shows up. He showed up on the big stage, put up big numbers in this game. But listen, I'm going to turn it to the other side. If they can get this version of Kristaps Porzingis, 2 blocks, 11 rebounds, a +16 plus minus, box plus minus. If they can get that version of Porzingis, watch out for the Celtics, because on top of that, you add that third element, which was Drew Holiday. Not that he did anything, but he was playing with efficiency. 10 shots, 7 for 10, but goes 3 for 5 from 3. That efficiency from him, on top of the assist numbers with low turnovers, that's a dangerous team, because White's going to be, he's going to be Derek White. He's going to be him, and just have a basic Jaylen Brown that just doesn't turn the ball over crazy, and just plays at the range that he's playing right now. I think the key is Porzingis with a backdoor access key in Holiday is the thing that unlocks the Boston Celtics success.
That was a big trade for Boston to be able to go out and get Drew Holiday. They took a chance on Kristaps Porzingis, like you're saying. Nights like that definitely make it worth it for them. 2 other games to get through. You did have the Miami nightlife. The Miami Heat beating the Philadelphia 76ers 119-113. But Stricky, let's move back to the West here. Talk about the Mavericks and the Suns. The Suns had Dallas pretty well on the ropes. Grayson Allen, my boy, was going off, an absolute sniper from range like he was known to do coming out of Duke. But the reason I asked the 50-point scorer question is because yet again, at the end of the day, it turns into the Luka show. He goes for 50, becoming the 4th player in history to put up a 50-piece on Christmas Day. He leads Dallas to a comeback win on the road on Christmas Day. 50 points, 6 boards, 15 assists. Big credit to him there. But Phoenix is kind of like Milwaukee. All sorts of stars at the top, not a whole lot in terms of depth. And Kevin Durant looked incredibly disinterested last night.
Well, that's what they gave up. They gave up the depth in hopes that they would be able to use their big 3 to give them big minutes to take them to the promised land. Listen, Grayson Allen, he's a solid defender. He's a good pickup for them. I think he did the best that he could trying to guard Luka, but Luka was the step back king and just was eyeball sandwiching them from everywhere. It didn't matter what they did to him, whether it was driving to the lane, step backs, fadeaways, Dirk style. It didn't matter. He was giving it to him with a full range of motion, and the bag was full because he had Santa's bag on his back, and he could just pull out whatever he wanted and work them over last night. 50 piece from Chick-fil-A of chicken minis, and 15. But the numbers that blow you is this one though. The numbers that really get me with regard to Luka: 6 rebounds, 4 steals from somebody they say cannot defend. He's like a mall security guard when people are coming in and trying to steal everything, right? That's what it is with him. It's not happening. But only 4 turnovers. That's a solid night for him. 3 blocks on top of that. Led the team in blocks. Tied for the lead in blocks. Come on, man. But one of the things that's going to show up for them ultimately too, I think, is their depth. They don't have much of it. They're overpaying guys right now. Some of them are stepping up when they have to. Some are moderately playing, but I still think their depth is what's hurting them. And hopefully, Kyrie Irving's situation will get better sooner than later when it matters.
Hopefully so. The other big thing to point out about Luka Doncic is that he's only 24 years old, and last night hit a 3 from the logo to eclipse 10,000 points in his career already. I'm not going to say Luka's going to break LeBron's scoring record or anything, but I would be shocked if Luka didn't move into at least the top 10. And I would say it's a pretty safe bet, Strick, that he breaks 30,000 in his career, barring injury.
But that's the awesome thing about Luka is his game doesn't require him to. He's got a game that can have a form of evolution to it, similar to MJ, right? MJ's evolution was super athletic, take you, bounce on you. There's nothing you can do to stop it. Got, very good silky moves and as far as finishing, but mid-range killer. But then his elevation was extended his range, went to a post, started to handle the ball more, and then started to distribute more. Luka's got that kind of evolution in his game where he can really go off on you for big numbers, but he doesn't have to because he can really still change the game by way of his assist numbers. He's that good. You're not going to speed him up. You're not going to get him off of his game. So I think he has an evolutionary game that can, spurn definitely 30 plus. I just don't know if he'll catch LeBron. But why not? I mean, he's been doing it since he's a rookie also. I think he even did it probably better than LeBron in his earlier stages of his career.
I think that's totally fair to say. You'll never speed Luka up and you can never slow down, slow enough to play at his tempo. But the other thing too, Strick, that I think gives him a good shot at 30,000 and more is that I think his game is going to age well because he can do so many different things well. And it's not reliant on one skill. He's got basically the whole bag and a renewed sense of importance in the conditioning. I think Luka's got nothing but a bright future ahead of him.
It's going to depend on what he decides he wants to do. It's also going to depend on the Mavericks and what they continue to surround him with, because as his game continues to evolution or to grow and have an evolution to it, that they're going to have to surround him with different types of players, right? This is why I think this Kyrie signing is going to be good for Luka and in a long run if Kyrie can stay healthy and if they can continue to play together, because he won't have to carry it all the time. Now it's tough, bro, when you're going uphill and facing challenges where all of the weight is on you. But we saw that what it was like for Kyrie Irving to take the weight off of LeBron, or when a Kevin Long took the weight off of LeBron. Who that is right now for the Mavericks is no one other than Kyrie to me. So we'll see what happens with Lively and guys like that, what their progression is, what they're able to do in the free agency, or what they're able to do by way of draft or even in the G League system. We'll see.
It'll be exciting to watch. Dallas still in the top half of the West, fighting for playoff positions. Congrats to Luka Doncic on the 10,000th career point and the 4th ever 50 burger on Christmas Day. Jay Foreman's walking in. We'll take a break. We will cross it over with him, get you set up for old school here after this.
At Koppel, during the holidays, we take time to cherish our terrific staff, community, and loyal customers that continue to drive that money-saving mile to Louisville, Nebraska. Hi, this is Sean Callahan. I can proudly say I bought my car at Koppel. If you are in the area, I invite you to stop by Koppel Chevrolet GMC's offices in Louisville or check them out online at koppelcars.com. On behalf of Koppel Chevrolet GMC, Merry Christmas and safe travels to all.
24/7 threat monitoring, expert tech support, streamlined communications. Allo has a solution for that. Protect your business with Allo Business. Comprehensive firewall security, Microsoft Teams voice-integrated communications, cybersecurity and IT support managed by experts. From productivity to peace of mind, Allo has a solution for that. Allo means business. Protect your business by visiting allofiber.com/business.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
When you think of places with tons of great beer selections and amazing food menu in Omaha, the conversation should start and end with Bärschen Beer Garden in Benson. With more than 30 beers on tap, including several German options, you're sure to find something you like. And don't forget their Nashville hot chicken sandwich or any of their delicious hamburgers. Start off with the warm house-made pretzels and you're on to a great day at Bärschen Beer Garden in the heart of Benson in Omaha.
This is where it happens. Long hikes with friends, kayaking adventures with family, more horseback riding, zipline gliding, rock face climbing, hammock camping fun than you could ever imagine. And it's all outdoors, amongst the trees and across the prairie, here beneath Nebraska skies. Plan an outing today at yournebraskaadventure.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, a chance of snow showers taking place throughout the day. We'll see an afternoon high around 32. Tonight, a slight chance of snow will continue. Otherwise, we'll see mainly cloudy skies and a low around 20. And tomorrow, a slight chance of snow continuing throughout the day. Otherwise, partly sunny skies expected with a high of 32. I'm meteorologist Kyle Clicker from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Ooh, what a day. I could sure use an afternoon pick-me-up. Hold up. The new 93.7 The Ticket location has a milk, coffee, and tea inside? Oh, yeah. This is a game changer.
Need an afternoon pick-me-up? How about a coffee or smoothie on your way to work? Stop by the Ticket Mill location on 1040 O Street to get your go-to drink or try out our new game day drinks exclusive to the Ticket Mill location. We know it'll make your day a million times better.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top shelf liquor to crowd favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Concrete Industries, a Nebco company, has immediate job openings for precast production laborers. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $20 per hour and a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer. Visit concreteindustries.com.
This year, give the gift of delicious food, incredible service, and a lasting memory with the Pillar Restaurant Group gift card. When you purchase a $50 gift card, you receive a $5 bonus card, or purchase a $100 gift card to receive a $20 bonus card. These cards can be used at all Pillar Restaurant Group locations, including Venue Restaurant and Lounge, Piedmont Bistro, The Butchery, The Bakery, and all Lincoln Good Sense Deli Fresh Subs locations. Available for purchase at any of our concepts or online at prgnebraska.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back on the block. Austin Norman and Erick Strickland been with you here for the last couple hours, joined in studio by Jay Foreman. What's up, Jay?
What's happening? Strick, what's happening, man? Merry Christmas. Merry, and happy, my brother.
Merry Christmas to my guy, Jay Foreman. How are you, my brother from another mother? It's always good to see you. And I know I can't see you, but, shake your hand.
Yeah,
but,
we're here. We're in the building.
Wishing you and your family and loved ones, man. Hope y'all had a wonderful day as I did as well.
Strick, I want to ask you this, that, from your experience as a basketball player. I don't know if you saw the Phoenix Suns game, right, where Devin Booker, it was a younger player, and they were kind of running a little bit of an elbow series, and he kind of threw like a lazy pass. I think he thought Devin Booker was going to come and get it, so it's kind of like a little bit of Golden State Warriors action. Got picked off, gave up a layup, and Devin Booker before he inbounds the ball, he must have been mic'd up, for Christmas Day. He said, man, he's talking to him, man, you going to turn the ball over and not even run back? I want to know from your experience and you as from a teammate standpoint, how much I thought it was good on Devin Booker. As being a superstar, he still kind of gave effort back there. But I want to ask you, Strick, for a young guy, how important is it to do those little things in the big stage of Christmas game, or just in general, to earn the respect of the veterans and the superstar players, or just the veteran players? Because that's something that he has to learn from, but then also he has to remedy right now. It can't happen again.
Yeah, listen, man, it's really important, Jay, because I remember having my vets to tell me certain things and to speak to me on certain things, or maybe that I wasn't doing or I needed to do more of. Like there was instances where I was deferring, and they were talking about, no, Strick, Derek Harper used to get on me, man. Strick, he cursed me out. Yeah. He's like, we need you to F and shoot. We need you to score, man. You don't need you to be just pat. He would get on me a little bit. I mean, in a loving kind of argumentative tone, man. But it's good to have it on both sides and both sides of that coin. And you want that type of leadership. Let's just be honest, Jay. When you look at Detroit right now, they don't have that.
I was just about to ask you about that.
They don't have that. And that's why you find them in the situation that they in, bro. They just don't have that kind of leadership. And that's what it's starting to show up. Now, the difference between what Detroit is and what now Houston is starting to become, you can tell there's something there. There's an alpha in the room that's able to sit guys down, look them dead in their face, and tell them about themselves and get them to react and respond to it, right? Because Houston has very much so the same type of young team and talent that Detroit has, and it's just at this point that you're not getting the production out of Detroit because they don't have nobody to help will them out of that hole that they're in.
Strick, let me ask you, how important was it for Houston to bring in Van Fleet versus Detroit? Or is mainly all younger players? Obviously, a championship. Obviously NBA Finals coach in Monty Williams. And the reason why I asked you about Van Fleet, he's won a championship, so that instant respect of that's a world champion right there. It's recent, right? It's not like an AC Green. How AC Green was later on in his career going play like, oh man, look, dude, I was 3 years old when you was playing, right? Showtime is over, but he's still a world champion. How important?
But he still commanded respect though, because
I know what I'm saying. These new age guys now. I'm talking about the new age guys. So how important was it for Houston to do that versus Detroit? Maybe got the championship or potential championship coach in Monty Williams, but nobody in the locker room that provides that championship mentality. And then maybe that's the difference in Detroit and Houston.
Yeah, man, you're right, and there is a difference because Fred VanVleet also handles the ball. Right.
So he controls the pace.
He can control a lot of stuff. It's also good when you can do that from that position. You saw maybe some downfalls on guys that don't have the ability to do that, where like Boogie Cousins for a while. Yeah. There was some success with teams where he had great guard leadership, but then when he didn't, and it was really a reliance on him, he didn't have that. And plus the injuries to be able to take you over the top. Fred VanVleet's able to calm things down because he's very cerebral as well. So he can understand what they need right now. Okay, there's a run that's happening. Who can I go to at this specific time? And this is the difference between you see from a VanVleet type of situation as opposed to a Jordan, a Poole type of situation, right? Comes with the same pedigree, comes over, has respect of the team early on, but then you lose it with certain antics, like in the locker room, you lose it in the media, you lose it in the huddles when you're not paying attention. If you are the guy and you're not doing that, then it's a slow creeping because that same commanded respect's going to be lost because they're looking at you like you're a clown.
Man. Hey, Strick, one more question before we get you up out of here, man, is what do you think the biggest difference this year in my Minnesota Timberwolves? It's pretty much the same team back,
Yeah,
right?
man,
It is.
listen.
And right, remember last year we talked about numerous times. We felt like the Twin Towers just weren't working. Then Towns thought he was a point guard, shooting guard. But this year, they're number one in the West with the same team, same coach, same opponents. What do you think, and from your perspective, is the biggest difference?
Well, one of them is Anthony Edwards is him. Like you knew Ant-Man was definitely emerging, and I think getting slighted in some instances and people kind of looking at him, real funny. I think that caused him to take his game to another level. Also, the establishing of Ant-Man as the alpha of that team. He is the alpha wolf of that team. Towns is no longer that. So I think there was a little bit of battle between him and Towns would lose interest if he wasn't the guy. And that's totally what a beta wolf would do, and lose interest and kind of start sliding a little bit. But then it's the emergence, I think, of a more active and scoring piece out of Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like Rudy Gobert is giving them more than what he's giving them in the past. He's shooting over 60%, which is, that means when he's touching the ball and he's getting the touches, he's able to put it down. He had shot almost 77% against Sac on the game on 12-33, and it's a win. When you're getting that part and that production out of him, his block numbers are, okay and solid. You're getting good control on the defensive side. Of the last two wins is against the Lakers and against two tough West Coast opponents and against Sac. So, shout out to them, man. They're starting to kind of figure it out. They're starting to understand where their placement is in their roles, Jay. And and knowing that you let Ant-Man do Ant-Man things, I like it. I like it.
I'll add this real quick. I think making it Anthony Edwards' team over even Gobert's team, right? Towns was there first. That was a big deal. But then they swing that huge trade to go get Rudy Gobert. That's a big deal. I could see how that would maybe lead to a little bit of, trepidation from Anthony Edwards. Oh, do they want this to be the guy? Do they lean in on the Twin Towers kind of stuff as opposed to me? I think Rudy Gobert had to take a bit of that a step back mentally in terms of his ego as well. But now he's playing the same role he has in his career, but also expanded a little bit, like you're saying, Strick. But also the emergence of a 3-and-D wing. McDaniels has been really good.
Really good.
Underrated defender. It probably should have been all defense last year, shooting it well enough from three. We talk about those three levels all the time, Strick. Have a guard, have a wing, have a big. I think Minnesota finally has those pieces in place.
Yeah, I can't disagree with what you said there. Definitely, I understand exactly what point you're coming with, and it's the key is how long is it a sustainable thing? Will injuries usurp them anyway? Like you don't even hear about Conley that much anymore, but Conley's steadily, dropping 6-7 assists a game.
Not a championship guy, but a super steady veteran. That
just steady.
Everyone across the league.
Yeah, just a steady group of guys. But is it sustainable? Is what they have and what they put together in a sustainable model based on, their team? And I don't know. They've got guys on there that disappear, and like Garza, you guys talk about Garza, like Garza is somebody that's not even, really a part of that situation and team. He was there, but gone. Who else is there?
You got
like
Troy
Kyle
Brown.
Anderson. Guys like Kyle Anderson, Shake Milton.
Yeah.
Just guys that you don't really, but they're just all fitting. They're all meshing. Jaden McDaniels, just a bunch of guys that just scrappy and just going to go out and play and let their head guys be the head guys. Just fit in, get in where they fit in.
Yeah, that's great, man.
And their salary numbers aren't crazy. I mean, let's be honest, though. Rudy Gobert is making the most of anybody on that team. Anthony Towns is next. I think this season's going to determine on whether or not, what they're going to do with Anthony Towns, because right now his value could be, at its peak right now, as far as movement and acquisition of assets. So that's something to take a look at. Then you got to assess, Jay, whether or not the guys that they have on their team they feel can step in and fill a void, because their salary cap numbers aren't crazy. It's like they're kind of got a mix and match. Now, Anthony Edwards is about to kick in. He's about to kick in, and his salary is about to go through the roof. But other than that, man, it's manageable.
Yeah.
What's coming up on Old School?
We're going to do NFL weekend, man. Big win for the Raiders. Obviously, Jake Sorensen's Dolphins. Some injury news throughout the whole league, which is going to shape these playoffs. And then obviously some more NBA stuff. And that'll be about it. Maybe a little Husker stuff just because of it's about that time. Because January 15th or when school starts comes very quick.
There you go. That's Old School coming up here for the next couple hours on 93.7 The Ticket. Stricky, it's been fun. We'll do it again tomorrow, my man.
See you mañana, fellas. And Merry after Christmas.
Merry after Christmas, indeed. Don't go anywhere. On the Block is done. Old School. Jay Foreman comes your way here in just a minute.
Step into healing at Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery. Our team of top-notch medical professionals turns pain into progress with state-of-the-art treatments and compassionate care. Visit prairieortho.com and discover the difference in quality orthopedic and plastic surgery services tailored to your unique needs. Your health matters, and Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery is dedicated to helping you thrive. Reach your full potential. Embrace a better tomorrow with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers, and if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Don't allow uninvited guests to take over your home. Trust Bats to Rats for a peaceful and rodent-free living space. Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Ironhide Construction is hiring.